Alright guys, this video is, a follow-up on the video that I did yesterday on the GT-100. And I did a video on the manual mode in the GT-100. And people requested or was asking for if you could do the manual mode or something similar on the GT-1. Because as you all know, the GT-1 is basically the same engine as the GT-100, but in a smaller compact size. And you can do something similar here on the GT-1. You don't exactly have the manual mode as you know it on the GT-100, but you can do something similar here on the GT-1. And this is basically what I'm going to show you here in this video. It's not really that difficult and you can do it quite easily, but if I zoom out here, I highly recommend that you get an external foot switch. Let me just take you up so you can see what I'm talking about. This is my pedal board that I use with the GT-1, and I have my instrument switcher up here, my FS7 and my tuner over here. But I highly recommend that you go out and buy either the FS6 foot switch or the FS7 foot switch, because basically this option allows you to have two extra contacts or foot switches to make use of. And you decide if you want to use them in preset mode for assigned, anything like that, or you want to use them in this alternative manual mode. So I highly recommend that you have the foot switch here, external one, and connect it, because otherwise if you do not have it, you only have the option of using the three ones down here, and depending on how many effects and how much you want to control within that alternative manual mode, three foot switches down here aren't really that much. So add two more foot switches and you have a total of 5. I would recommend that at least. Okay, so if I just if I take you in here again and we take a look at how we get into this. Sorry about this, but I have to get you in so you can see what I'm talking about. The very first thing that we're going to do after we've connected the external FS7, we're going to, as I said, you have the 3 foot switches on board the GT-1. You have the up and down buttons, and you have the CTL1 foot switch. You can assign different parameters and effects to the up and down foot switch, as well as the controls. We're basically going to click the memory edit button here, and by default it's going to take you in right here first thing in the signal chain, and we're going to use knob number 1 to select or scroll through the patch here, and we're going to scroll to the very end, and you see you have the last of your assigns here, and you have the down and the up button, and you have your output, master output over here. Now you can basically choose what you want to set up for the down and the up switches. And the down is by default set up to increase the number by 1, decrease the number by 1, and the up button is set to increase the number by 1. So let's say that you want this to be something else. You would basically just turn knob number 1 here. You can turn the functions all the way off if you like that. And you can basically scroll through whatever feature or parameter you need here. Let's say that let's just state that something like the preamps, let's just state that we have those running all the time, and we don't really want to have that as a foot switch option here. So we can adjust that later. I'm going to show you how you can do this, but let's just say we want to set it up as effects number 1, which can be a variety of things. It can be a compressor, a sub delay, octave, tremolo, anything like that. But let's say we want it like that. And we do not want it to be momentary, because momentary is only going to be on as long as you press the switch. So we want to set it to toggle, because by that you're able to bring it in and bring it out again with one step. Okay, so you press exit and get out here, you go into the up and you do the same thing. So let's say we basically just want something like, an overdrive to be turned on by that. And yeah, basically those are set now. And you can of course go back and set them up for something else if you want that. Then you have the GT-1 here as your last thing you can change. So you basically just go in and find whatever you need here, and that could be FX2 for something like chorus or anything like that. And you've connected, the optional external foot switch. So now you have CTL2 and CTL3. And on the FS7, CTL number 2 is corresponding to the bottom of the switch, the B side, and number 3 is the A side. So if we go in here, you can set that to whatever you like again, and it might be, let's say you have a delay on, for example, and you want to show the tap tempo, for example, or you basically just wanted to, activate the delay, then you're basically able to do that as well, and make sure you set it to toggle again. And you have the last parameter here, switch to program, and the CTL3, and you can basically bring in whatever you like there. So let's say if you want, a solo boost later on, you can add the OD boost or a solo boost here, and basically, take your overdrive into kind of solo boost mode. Yeah, okay, so this was basically, this is the way you set them up. And as I said before, effects that you're planning on, to always have on, something like a preamp, you can basically, go in and adjust them as well. Just have to use the knob number 1 as your select button here and go to that parameter, the preamp, choose your preamp, set it up the way you like it, change the EQs and change the speaker types and whatever. And that will basically stay the same, because you're not going to adjust or change that when you move on, as long as you just you write your patches and your setup, and it should basically be be stored and you can recall it. So this is not your typical manual mode for something like the GT-100, but this is a way that you can still be able to do it, and still make it fairly simple to go about it that way. And of course you can still make use of your assigns here. If we go to those, you just have to make sure, if you want to assign anything to the CTL1, make sure that the things you assign to it is also a thing that you want to have turned on simultaneously with some of the other assigns that you do. And it could be basically anything. You could our CTL1 is set to FX2, so let's say that's a chorus, and you can assign the number 1 assign here to maybe change the chord from a certain change the depth or the rate or anything like that, and we assigned a solo boost here to the CTL3. So if you wanted to, when you engage that CTL3, you also wanted the delay level to increase and the reverb level to increase, you could do that, and you would basically, as I showed in the GT-100 video, you would still be able to make use of your assigns as long as you manage your assigns and think about, okay, what do I want each individual foot switch to do here, and can I assign more than one feature here, and would that make sense to do it? So basically a simple little way here to do it. And I don't think this would be something that I would use a lot, but in addition to the GT100, and if you're more into the size of the GT1 here, and you want to have a compact size pedal board as I wanted, then if you're that kind of guy or player that just wants to press one foot switch and be able to say, okay, this is my overdrive, and this is my reverb, and this is my delay, you can definitely do that. And you can even label the switches up here, and make it easy for you to see what it is, and label them out, dedicate the individual foot switches to their purpose. So yeah, this should basically be it, guys. And as always, if you have questions, if you have comments, and also requests or anything like that, I will be more than happy to hear from you, whether it's on YouTube or it's on Facebook. Just get in touch and let me know what you have in mind. So I hope this will kind of clear out things for the alternative manual mode for the GT1 here. So thanks again, guys, and I will probably see you soon with some of the next videos. I basically plan on doing a couple of videos with the GT100 in manual mode, showing you the basics of setting up a patch, hearing the difference, and basically just give you a sound overview, and the way you manage your effects and anything like that. And I might do the same thing for the GT1 here if people would like to see that as well. So I know for myself that it's always nice to see people actually do it more than they talk about and explain it. But this video right here is kind of like the GT100 video. It's the basic overview and how you go about doing it, and from there you can take it to whatever you want. And I'm just I'm going to make the video, so stay tuned for them, guys, and I will see you soon. So cheers for now.